Hello lovelies, and welcome to another tutorial from CamiPaige Boutique. I'm Brooke Tannehill, and today I'm bringing you this leopard print ombre cup that I absolutely adore. I love it because it's timeless, it has a very classy, elegant look to it, and I really feel like this is a great cup to add to your catalog if you're doing ready to ship cups, if you have any farmers markets or fall festivals coming up. So, as always, all the products that I use are listed down in the description box, and you might find 1 or 2 coupon codes that will save you some coin. Also, a huge announcement, there is officially a CamiPaige Boutique VIP group where over the next couple of weeks we're having a ton of giveaways, fun prizes, and I cannot wait to shower all of my lovelies with gifts galore. So check out the link below, join, and I would love to absolutely have you. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I started with a fully prepped 32-ounce PLUMP from Steel Magnolia, took it outside and spray painted it this, I'm gonna say half ombre spray paint job because it's not the best, but I used a gold and black Rust-Oleum spray paint, and I'll list the exact colors below. Let that dry for about 45 minutes and then went in with the epoxy method of applying glitter. I did do this cup to start the process during a live, so I apologize for a little bit of a different format, but all I'm doing is taking the littlest amount of epoxy possible and applying it over the top of the cup and making sure that I have a smooth layer to act as the adhesive for the glitter. I like to do my lighter colors first on the ombres, and that's what I'm doing here. I'm actually using Champagne Toast from Glitter Heart Company, and the reason why I like to start with the lighter colors is because I feel like if I can lay the base layer down of the lighter colors, I have an easier job of blending the darker color over the top of it. So here again, I'm starting with the Champagne Toast. I start at the rim, and then what I'm actually telling my group members about is how I'm going to tilt the cup at about a 45-degree angle and just let that Champagne Toast glitter cascade down the sides of the cup and start to create that fade for my ombre. So I'm sprinkling very, very lightly. I'm holding the shaker very high up, which you can see in the smaller video to the left, but that way I'm not just dumping globs and globs of glitter over the entire cup, and this allows for enough epoxy to be left to start with the next darker color. Here now what I'm doing is I do want to do a really pretty black, but I'm sure you guys have experienced this, that black doesn't always sparkle under epoxy. So I started with black tie, again from Glitter Heart Company, and I came over the top of that with City Lights, which City Lights is a beautiful silver, and I really feel like the combination of these two glitters together just are really beautiful and allows it to still get the black color, but you just have a little bit of the sparkle from the City Lights. So highly recommend this combination. You could definitely use just black tie by itself, but I thought this added a little bit of dimension to the cup. Here, what you see me doing is I'm starting with the bottom and then also focusing on the rim of the bottom of the cup. So literally when I'm holding my little medicine cup, I'm looking at the bottom rim and I'm pouring the black glitter there. Then how I get the glitter further down into the gold is really tackled with the angle in which I hold my cup. So here I'm obviously coming down the cup a little bit, but when I'm really starting to lay the groundwork for my ombre, I'm focusing on that bottom rim and just tilting the cup enough to get the black to start to blend down. Here, I'm just going back and forth between the two colors. So I like to usually focus on like 1 inch to 2 inches. So, well, let me back up. Once I have both ombres down, I like to focus about 1 inch to 2 inches into each of the other colors. So like right here, what I'm doing is I'm focusing about 1 inch to 2 inches into the gold with the black, overlaying it so I start to get that blend. And I did the same thing with the gold over the top of the black, going back and forth until I get the nice blend that I'm looking for. And that really is going to set it apart and make you have a beautiful ombre. I let this cup dry for about 3 to 4 hours, and then I spray sealed it twice with Rust-Oleum clear gloss. Let that sit for about 45 minutes, and now I'm moving into the step that you see here. So what I did is I just took a little bit of black Craftmark acrylic paint, and I mixed in about, I would say, a 2-to-1 ratio of Mod Podge. Now, in a previous tutorial, I said that I didn't like to mix the paint into the Mod Podge. And that, I have to say, is because I did it over the top of epoxy. And I can probably do a tutorial explaining the differences between the two. But this one, since I do not have a fresh epoxy layer, this is just glitter, I do like to color the Mod Podge because I feel like I get better coverage and it makes the overlay of the black glitter over the gold really pop a lot more. So I'm just using a cheap short bristle brush to really push the Mod Podge and paint mixture into the glitter. So again, this does not have a coat of epoxy over the top of the ombre. This is just strictly over the top of this, like the sealant that we use, which was like the clear spray paint. And I'm just pushing it in. You'll see that I was dabbing, and then every 3 or 4 spots, I am covering it with glitter. This is really, really important because the Mod Podge and paint dry very quickly. And if you were to do all of the spots at once, then your glitter would have nothing to stick to except for like the most recent spots because it dries so fast. So my rule is I like to keep it between 3 and 4 spots and then apply the glitter just to make sure that I'm getting that great sparkle over the top of the paint and Mod Podge, and I'm not just getting the paint and Mod Podge showing up because it already dried by the time I tried to apply the glitter. One thing I do want to note is off screen, I actually have a previous leopard print cup that I had done, and I am using that as a visual reference. I don't want you guys to think that I'm some like leopard print ninja and just have these patterns memorized, because I don't. There's actually one that's kind of wonky, but I'm living with it, like a spot that's kind of weird, but I think it comes out all great in the end. But have that visual reference, whether you find a picture off the internet, if there's another cup that you've done, because I really feel that like that helps when you go in to freehand the leopard spots, because it's not something that we see every day. I continued the leopard spots around the entire gold top of this cup, and then I moved into one really generous coat of Rust-Oleum clear spray paint just to make sure that I didn't have any movement of the black glitter over the gold, because you would really, really see it. So I just took my time, make sure that everything was nice and coated, and then it was time for epoxy. I mixed up 30 mLs of a little extra ink epoxy, which if you have not tried this epoxy, I cannot recommend it enough because it has just upped my cup game so much. But let this cup turn for about 5 minutes, then came in with a torch just to pop a couple of bubbles that came to the surface from applying the epoxy over glitter. I let the cup dry for about 4 to 6 hours, and then it was decal time. But before I applied the decal, I made sure to sand the cup just to see if there was any rough edges, then also made sure that I had that little lip of stainless steel for the epoxy to adhere to. And then I applied the decal. I will list the vinyls that I used because I found the most glorious gold vinyl, and it's got glitter in it that perfectly matches champagne toast. So I'll list that below. Also, I will upload this decal to my VIP CamiPaige group so that you guys can snag it for free. So after the decal was applied, it's time to seal the vinyl. I do this pretty much on every single one of my tutorials. This is just Quick Coat by CC DIY. You can use any poly sealer, but I just do this to make sure that I don't have any vinyl lifting when it comes time to do the epoxy. So I usually just focus on the area that I'm applying the vinyl, let that dry for about 45 minutes, and then it's time to move into epoxy. Another huge benefit to sealing the vinyl is also that it seals the surface and requires less epoxy for your finishing coats. So here I am applying, which this cup only needed one final coat, and I used 20 milliliters of a little extra ink epoxy. But that's another reason why I really recommend sealing your vinyl. It just helps your cups come up so much better, and it also requires less resources to making those beauties to sell to customers. And that is it for this cup. I actually have a funny story. I took this exact cup into my vinyl store to match the vinyl that I was linking in my description for this tutorial. So I take it in, matching the vinyl, make sure I had the right description, right product code, right link. And I had a lady come up to me and ask me if the tumbler was for sale because she loved it so much. So I feel like it appeals to the masses. I think it's so beautiful, elegant, and I really like this color scheme. I hope this tutorial inspires you to try this design. I hope there's just like a bazillion thoughts going through your mind with different color schemes or different ways that you can use these techniques to bring some beautiful cups to life. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. That's what I'm here for. If you liked this tutorial, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you'd like to see future tutorials and ring the bell so you don't miss a step. Also, highly recommend joining our Facebook group because of all of the giveaways coming up in the next couple of weeks. Thank you again for tuning in. I love all you guys. Bye.